Tilton. We'll support you till the end.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Tilton Talk Show. Here we are on a Monday night, 7:30 till 9, sponsored by Ball Sports, French polishing company called M&A. Yep, that's brilliant. And, of course, the Garrison Coffee Company. Now, fans are back in the stadium, and it was a little bit muted as far as I'm concerned, and we've got an awful lot to get through tonight. Welcome, Mr. Sheen.
Good evening, all.
Welcome, Mr. Road.
Hello, everybody. Hope you're okay.
Mr. Brown.
Good evening.
And our special tonight, the one and only Wade Elliott.
I'll do that one again. I can hear us now, apparently.
Tonight is going to be right. I've got good things and bad things for tonight, but before I go any further, the gentleman that I mentioned last week who had that catastrophic brain injury sadly passed away on Friday. So my best regards, personal regards to Jackie and the rest of the family. It's a guy that I've worked with for a long time and worked for on occasion. So, when these things happen, it's always very sad. Right at the top of the show, I've got to say hello and thank you so much for all those people that spoke to me on Saturday in and around the ground. The one and only Lewis Mitchell. What an absolute legend that guy is, Lewis Mitchell. Mm-hmm. And Andy Pike, who came up and shook my hand and says, "You're Tilton Talk Show, aren't you?" "Yeah, man, of course we are. The only reason we do it, Andy, is for people like you." Carl Motion, he also came and said hello to the host of other people that said hello as well. Thank you very, very much indeed. It means such a lot because we do this free of charge and we do it for you, each and every single one of you. Right, okay, so the things I want to talk about tonight is the game, the PA system, pies, beer, host of other things, stadium. Right. So I'm going to start with the game because I think that was the most important thing. I think that these two teams that played there on Saturday are solid, right? They're going to be hard to break down and they're going to be hard to beat. I know we got a goal right at the end, but apparently it was a real offside. Now, I couldn't see it because I was right at the opposite side of the stadium. So if it was, it was. If it wasn't, well, hey-ho, you know what can you do? Paul, your take on the match. Have you didn't go, did you, Paul?
Unfortunately not, but I did manage to watch it, and I thought, first half, we had the better of the chances. On another day, obviously, the one when Hogan goes through, he puts that away. He just needs a goal to get him going, and obviously he goes through again and puts it wide. So he's had a couple of good chances there, Hogan, and I think it will come for him as long as
he's got to start hitting the mark though, Paul, hasn't he? Really,
yeah. I believe in him, and I think he will. And
I do too.
If we keep setting him up like that, then I think eventually it'll come for him. It'll happen. As soon as one goes in, they're like buses, aren't they?
It's that breakthrough moment, isn't it?
Yeah, that's all he needs. That first goal. And I thought 0-0 was probably fair overall. I thought they probably edged the second half. But yeah, we're a totally different animal, aren't we, this season? You can see that straight away.
What about our goalkeeper? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was excellent.
No, he is Lee Camp in the making. I promise.
He was my man of the match. I thought Dean and Roberts at the back and Coley. The back four's solid. He's got getting the tune any out the back four. And obviously the back three as well. When we play with the three as well. So obviously we played the 3-4-3, but whenever they're a 3 or a 4, we look hard to break down, don't we?
We do. So explain to us, Paul, why you didn't go.
So I won a ticket in the ballot, but I was offered a seat behind a post in the main stand, which I didn't fancy doing. I didn't fancy sitting behind a post watching the game with a restricted view. So I thought I'd watch it with a better view at home. So I did. I was very disappointed with the sort of announcement from Edward Cheng. I thought there wasn't enough information. We've all paid hundreds of pounds up front, thousands of us, and they've got our money there in that club. And, I think we've got a right to know exactly why we can't go. I think even if it means getting the building contractors involved to explain to us with like 3D drawings or whatever they need to do, explain to us what needs to be done and how long it's going to take. Don't drip feed us every couple of weeks and say, hopefully it's going to be for Derby. Then hopefully it'll be for the next game. Then, I've just got a feeling this is going to rumble on for a while.
Sorry, Paul. That's right. I think they're just going to drip feed us week after week by the sound of it.
Yeah, which I think when you've got people's money that are paid to do something, and you can't provide that service after they've paid, then we've got a right to know why we can't go in our seats.
Okay, so right, I wasn't going to go onto this one until later.
Sorry, Nick, just to rub the salt in the wounds as well. We've got a right to know as well why the executive boxes are open in the Kop as well.
Oh, that's exactly what I was coming on to. Why, if that stadium has been condemned, were the executive boxes open? The most expensive seats in the house were all taken up. And I took photographs, and I'll tell you what, I couldn't believe what I was seeing, Paul. You know, is it a health and safety issue that the stadium and the stand is condemned, right?
Well, it's possibly in the lower regions of the stand, but nothing's clear. And I think we need clarity, and we need to understand why.
Yeah.
You know, they need to...
Birmingham City, if you're listening, now... by tomorrow, by the end of tomorrow, give your supporters, right, give the people that have paid their money the absolute definitive situation on the stands, the Kop and the Tilton. By tomorrow, by close of play tomorrow, you are being asked now publicly to give a complete and utter understanding for these people that have paid their money.
100%.
Absolutely.
So, to be honest, there's got to be a reason, because that's going to be one of the questions they're going to...
Then let us know,
They
Chris,
know
let the
that
people
people are going
know.
to ask. Yeah, there's going to be... I mean, there's going to be a logical explanation, I'm pretty
I
sure.
think I agree with what they've done with regards to the seats that they've got. You know, the ballot is probably the equal opportunity and the fair thing to do. But to rub salt in the wounds again...
No,
when you
Paul, sorry. I'm sorry. A week ago, we were in the situation where half of those stands would be open.
Well, yeah, but with the situation, whatever reason it is, you know, you've got more season ticket holders now than what you have seats available. So I agree with what they did and giving everyone an equal chance to get a ticket and do it as a raffle. But what I don't agree with is, they're not telling us why. They're not telling us why we're in this situation with the stand.
It seems like all the good work, building bridges, pardon the pun, it's all been back to square one again.
But what's annoying me as well is every time we seem to look half decent on the pitch, there's always something off the pitch that's a disaster. I mean, the last time was Gary Monk's season with the 9-point deduction, wasn't it? And now we're looking good under Lebo, and I want to go down there and sit in my seat and watch it, and I can't, and it's really frustrating.
Wade, what's your take on all this?
I was thinking exactly the same thing. We played we played Blues pre-season at Cheltenham, and the atmosphere seemed really good around the place. From that staff who've been there a few years, obviously had it a bit. I've sort of been under the cosh a little bit for the past couple of seasons, and just everybody seemed really positive, seemed really upbeat about the season. And then it's just a pity that this has come and put a bit of a shadow over it, because the support there, like, you're desperate to get behind someone, aren't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I was lucky enough to catch a bit of it when we were in the playoffs, and there was a bit of momentum and Chris and everything, and everyone got swept up in it. The support was like, you're desperate for that club to do well, and I don't know, it's sort of Lee's come in. There seems to be a real optimism around the playing side of it, and then I was aware of everything that went on, but listening to you guys now, and obviously the little chat before we went on air, you can see that it's evident to me the depth of feeling, and if that's spreading across the whole fan base.
But Wade, you can understand, right, because you've been on that playing surface, right, and you've listened to us fans, what we can create, yeah, and you probably understand that full length of emotion that we as supporters go through, right, when you as players are kicking a ball, right, and we will every single pass, every header, every cross, every throw-in that you guys can create for us, yeah? And what you create for us equals our week, yeah? And that's what we are like as supporters. We're down to earth, we're proper working class fans, yeah? And we're just being sold down the river and treated like we're mugs.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if that offends the football club, right? And if I get a ban, well, then that's up to them. Paul, something has to be said, something has to be done, but something from that club has to be delivered definitively back to the supporters.
Listen, there'll be no one more desperate for there to be a full house than Lee and the players.
Oh, I know. You know what? When he came out and
Yeah.
When he led that team out, well, it was there. Everything about St Andrews was there at that moment when he walked down past us. You know, it was brilliant. I've got goosebumps on my arms again now. Just here, look. Right.
It even hurts not being there to give Terry Cooper a send off as well. You know,
He
was the manager when in my early years going. You know, and I didn't get a chance to. You know, why not wait until the ground's full again for that? You know, it's a bit annoying. A bit annoying.
I know, Paul. I think because of the closeness to his passing, I think it was the right time to do it.
Yeah.
You don't want to get kind of lost in the emotion, kind of thing, do you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I must pay credit to the Stoke City fans who also applauded all the way through that minute.
Yeah, but the other thing that really annoyed me was the amount of empty seats.
Well,
how many empty seats were in the Gil Merrick and the main stand?
There's a few by us. Like I said, officially, it was only just over 10,000, wasn't it, the attendance?
Yeah.
And how many could that got in? How many could have got in? 16,000, possibly? Was there 6,000 empty seats, would you say? Am I exaggerating? Maybe a couple of thousand?
It's probably 12,000, I think.
Yeah. I think it was about 1,500.
There were quite a few at the front of the Stoke end as well, so they didn't fill their allocation either. But hang on. I've spoken to a Stoke City supporter here over the weekend, right, who goes home and away, and he says, I will not pay 35 or 40 pounds to go to a championship football game.
Yeah.
Just while we're on these subjects, I had a message from Paul Gill.
Sorry, Paul. Paul, can you really try on the shout box tonight? Because I've got no shout box at all on my phone, mate.
Paul Gill saying, could you possibly debate the following on tonight's show, please? That the almost forced feel of being sent tickets when there is no way to decline, despite them saying you will be able to choose. For us, grandfather, son and grandson who sit in the Tilton, we're not interested in sitting in other areas of the ground. We want to sit in the seats we are paid for and entered into a contract with the club. Despite numerous emails, this has been ignored by the club, and today we've been told we are being sent Bournemouth tickets we do not want and can't be bothered trying to sell them on as work 7 till 5:30, and it's it's too late, etc. We just want a refund for games. We are unable to provide our regular if they are unable to provide our regular seats, which is their problem, not mine. So should I?
What a disgrace that we've even got to be talking about this. 18 months they've had to put this right. They knew about it a very long time ago. They probably knew about it a long time before we knew about it, right? And they've had a very long time to get this resolved for the supporters. And it just seems to me that they were perhaps, I don't know, maybe hanging on for an insurance payout or something like that. I don't know. Mate, the stadium's 20 years old, and we're all standing in a stand that was built in 1947 and still going.
He makes a good point here as well. Why did the club not allow you to opt in or out first for the ballots, etc.? Is beyond me. So why don't they say, do you want to be in or out of these ballots, or do you want to just wait for your own seat and sit there when it's available?
Paul Gill, sorry, mate, you've got far too much common sense.
So at least them fans who are genuinely wanting to go have a better chance, and we avoid the empty seats.
Yeah, but what fan doesn't want to go there, Paul? Everybody wants to go, don't they? Yeah.
I'm conscious.
Sorry,
Mark. I'm conscious what I've just said as well about moaning about empty seats after I gave 2 seats up. The reason I gave 2 seats up, me and my dad, is because we were sat behind the post. Didn't want to go and sit and watch the game with a restricted view.
Well, I was going to say it's a big worry that a lot of people just turn their backs on Blues for good now. I know it's dramatic or whatever, but people might just reach the end of the road with them. And
Mark, we've already lost a generation over the last 18 months. One generation of children coming in and going to that first game with the dad. Yeah? All the mums.
Anyway, we could moan about this all day, but, on the pitch, we're looking much better. And I think the season ahead on the pitch, with Lee Bowyer at the helm, is looking a lot more positive, and we've got.
Paul, you know what? I haven't got total aspirations for this year, but I think we're going to do so much better. We're not going to be in a dog scrape. We're not going to be in a dog scrape.
No.
The back look strong, and they look together, and they look committed.
Yeah. So anyway, Wade, let's go back to 2011. Was it you joined us?
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah.
Long
And you
time.
was
That.
you were at Burnley at the time, was you? Yeah, and how did it come about coming to Blues? So were Burnley in the Premier League at the time, or were they?
We just
Champion-
come down, I think. We were Championship. I think we just come down. Or we come down the year before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been at Burnley for a while. It's actually Eddie was the manager, Eddie Howe, who I was actually good mates with. And I got wind of. Eddie came in, and I was, long story cut short, I'd been playing centre mid for about 4 years. And when I played with Eddie, I was an out and out winger. And Eddie came in, and first thing he did was put me back on the wing. I was about 31 by then, as you lot probably see. I didn't have the. It wasn't quite then. So I'd had sort of 4 or 5 months at Burnley where it was it was in and out. It was a bit sticky. And then I got wind that a couple of clubs just before deadline, I think it was Forest and Birmingham, come in. And I went into training, deadline day, finished training, and then I spoke to Eddie and said, I think you're going to get a bid today. And if you get it, I'd like to go. Obviously, chance to play for Birmingham there, and we were in Europe that season, which I'd never done. I was probably not going to get the opportunity again. So I asked to go then. Went home, and what it was is they needed to get a couple out before I could go in. So they needed to get Cameron Drone out and Scott Dan.
Yeah.
So I went home. I was living in Manchester. I was meant to be going to see Arcade Fire that night in town. So my girlfriend phoned me so I'm sat at home watching Sky Sports News thinking, have Jerome and Dan left yet? Because I've told the gaffer that I want to go. If they don't leave, I've got to go back into training tomorrow morning. I'm going to look like a right tit. So it got to about 6 o'clock. Girlfriend finished work and called me and said, "What's happening with the concert? I've gone. Don't know if we can go yet. I'm waiting on a phone call." So honestly, got to about 7 o'clock, and the deadline was 11, and I'm in Manchester, and I'm thinking, well, it's not happening, is it? So I phoned my missus up and said, let's started getting ready to go out, thinking it's not. Got a phone call from my agent saying you need to get to St Andrews. So jumped in the car, drove straight down. Phoned the missus on the way, said, I'm going to Birmingham. She went, what do you mean I'm going to Birmingham? I went, I'm going to Birmingham. Obviously got to the ground. It was all a bit of a whirlwind. Did the medical about 10 minutes before the deadline. It was literally touch your toes. They looked at my playing record, went, yep. Signed the contract. Spoke to you had Andy Walker on, didn't you? I know you had.
Yeah.
Last week, yeah.
Did a quick 5 minutes of Andy for the website with the. This was about 1 o'clock in the morning. Chris said, "Listen, go back up the road, get sorted, come in Thursday, and we'll go from there." So yeah, sort of left the ground about 1 o'clock, drove back up, told the missus that we were moving, and then that was it. It was in on Thursday, and I think made my debut against Barnsley on the Saturday.
Yeah. And didn't Stephen Caldwell follow you from Burnley as well? Was he after or before?
Stevie was before. Stevie came in the summer.
Okay.
But yeah, Stevie's one of my best mates.
Yeah, we've had him on as well in the past.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Good lad.
But yeah, me and Stevie were close at Burnley, but when I moved down to Birmingham, it was handy having him there. But we got really close when we were at Blues. We lived together, and we were. So yeah, that was a bit of a touch having Stevie there, to be honest.
Yeah. Wait, Stephen Gills asked me to ask you about the Pablo Ibanez incident against Bruges.
Oh, yeah,
and what happened after the game,
After the game,
if anything?
no, I don't know. But wow, the only bit I remember is Pablo got a whack, didn't he? So Pablo's Sparko. I'm at the other end of the pitch. I just remember big. You remember big Granin Door?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolute tank, but he was
Beast.
a lovely fella. Like, I was at the other end of the pitch. I've just seen Gran in tears. So I start panicking, thinking, "Oh my God, what's happened to Pablo?" Absolutely nothing's happened to Pablo. He's popped up and he's playing again 2 minutes later. I was thinking, what? We're trying to find out what Gran had seen. But his English was about as good as my French, so we couldn't get any out of him.
Yeah.
But yeah, what that was Bruges.
Yeah.
Would you say that was the best team you've played in your career? That Blues 11 that season?
That's a good question. It was a good team, that.
Yeah.
It was a good team. We had a good side at Burnley.
Yeah.
I've got to say, we had a very good side at Burnley. But yeah, that would have been we were obviously talking about it pre-show. You said you asked me to do my 1 to 11, and it's the first time I've sat down really and gone through some of the players that I played with when I was there. And
Yeah.
some good players in that
Top players.
3 years. A lot of players who have gone on to have really good careers as well.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that was a good side. But listen, the results in Europe were probably testament to that. We were really unlucky how we didn't go through. We
Should have qualified. Yeah.
It was, but I mean, we went to Bruges. Bruges had been in Europe for 50 years, never been beaten there by an English team.
No,
I'm not
that's
saying
right.
it's Bruges of the 80s or anything like that, but they're a good side. We went there and turned them over. We went to Braga and should have got some in. Braga were a top Portuguese team at the time.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
didn't go to the away games, but the one that we had at St Andrews as well. And it is Bo, by the way. Bo is not a bulldog; she is a cat, female. But she likes to make a weekly appearance on Zoom, and now she's going to disappear. Bye bye.
Jason McDonough wants to know what's Wade's favourite moment whilst at Blues and what gives him the goosebumps while he was at Blues.
There's a few, to be honest. I didn't play, but the atmosphere at St Andrews in the second leg of the playoffs, the Blackpool one. But really, the European games were, for me, scoring in Maribor.
Yeah, good goal.
Scoring in Maribor was like a personal one, but it's hard to top the Bruges one. Like the whole thing with Bruges, really. Like we went there. You'd probably know better than me, but Bruges is probably about as good as you could get for a European game because there's so many ways to get there. You can get the train, you can get a boat, you can fly in, you can
Swim.
Swim.
But obviously, we ended up with loads there. I don't know what I don't know if you were there or what it was like in the town before the. So we're in a hotel a little bit out of town, but the staff are going into the square, the main square, and they're sending videos back to the lads, and they're saying like the atmosphere is ridiculous. The atmosphere's a joke, and there's thousands there. So we're at the hotel, we're hearing all this secondhand and getting more and more excited about the game. And then you set off on the bus, and like the helicopters overhead, and you're getting the convoy in, and it feels like
A cup final.
it feels big. Yeah, it feels different to you run the mill. It's and then we get there, and that completely packed out. So we got that end all banged out, and then we go 1-0 down after a minute. I don't think we've touched the ball, and we're thinking we're in a bit of bother here.
Yeah.
And then to come back, turn it around the way we did, and then to win it in the last minute in front of our fans, that was
Special moment.
That was brilliant.
yeah, that was
Wait,
that,
that's a good question about that,
Fairy
right?
tale,
Okay.
isn't it, really?
Now we've all seen the YouTube videos of the fans and that after the final whistle. How far was your dressing room away from there?
yes, a fair bit. We were down the side, yeah.
Right, you could still hear them, I take it though.
Yeah, after the game, yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah. No, because obviously they were in there for a little bit as well, I think. I think they got kept in.
About 3 days, I think, weren't they?
yeah. Some of them are still there, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was,
Was that? Would you say that was your best goal for us, Wade? The one against
Maribor.
Maribor, or one that sticks. There's one that sticks in my mind that was an absolute worldie that you scored.
the best one was probably the Leeds one in the cup.
You beat me to it. Yeah.
Yeah, the Leeds one was a good goal. I have to show the players that sometimes to prove to them that I used to be quick.
Also, do you think that the English media didn't credit it in Europe?
Good question.
Yeah, probably, to be honest. Maybe because we didn't qualify, maybe because we were in the champ and they didn't expect too much of us, but maybe they just want the same focus on it that there is now. I think as big as everything was then, it's exploded, hasn't it, over the last few years?
Yeah, but I can tell you what, though, Wade. Every single one of you, everybody that played and all the staff that were there can hold their heads up high because you did us proud. That's all we ever ask for. Goosebump alert!
Grace Courtney's asking, can you ask Wade how old he was when he started playing football?
I was quite late for me. I think when I played, kids start at 5 and 6 now, don't they?
Yeah.
I think I started when I was about 10 or 11, maybe a little bit younger than that. But yeah, quite late. There was just where I lived, one of the dads on the estate locally started a team, I think for his kid, I think to get his give his kids something to do.
Yeah.
Few of us went and played. Like, so all the kids locally went and played.
Where did you live at that time?
In Southampton.
Right, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Was they your team as a kid, Wade?
yeah, they're my team. Yeah,
That's still your team, yeah.
yeah. We
Okay, ladies and gents, girls and boys, this is going to be a new feature on the show every single week, every time we've got a guest in. Does Wade Elliott have a doppelganger? Who is Wade Elliott's doppelganger?
You've obviously got somebody in mind, or else you wouldn't have said that.
I haven't actually, Chris, to be
No.
honest with you.
All right,
And I've been
okay.
trying to think of it since the second he came on. I thought, who does he look like? Who does he look like?
Nah.
Have you heard anyway?
Doppelganger, please. Paul, could you keep your eye on the screen?
I've heard loads. Paul.
Yeah.
Oh.
Brad
That's it,
Pitt.
so-
Brad Pitt,
Brad
yeah.
Pitt, yeah.
Chris Brown's got
All of-
more
all
chance
of them,
of having
mate.
Brad Pitt than you have, mate.
All of
I
them.
know,
man.
I know how you feel, mate. I've had Vin Diesel as well and Jason Statham. You know what I mean?
Who's Nick's doppelganger?
Well, actually, I'm going to be really honest with you, right? Because when I was young, when I was in the army,
Yeah.
everybody called me Jasper.
All right, okay.
I was a spitting image of Jasper Carrot when I was young.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
I'm going to
Sergeant-
get
Sergeant
no
Bottle.
bird out on the road. I'm going to ride.
Yeah, we've got a good one here. We've got a good one from Gaynor Robinson. Can you ask Wade who was the best player he played with? I presume she means at Blues. And against as well. You can do that in your whole career if you like. Who's the best player you played with and against?
The best I played against was Scholes.
Mm.
And I played against Scholes towards the end of his. So like he was an age, and I thought just everything I did, I tried to. They told us to stay off him and keep our shape, so he just got the ball and he zinged passes, and thought we can't do that.
Yeah.
So the one thing I've got on him, I'm gonna be fitter, so I'm gonna have to get tight to him. He just kept popping little balls around the corner. So then I thought, well, if I stand the other side of him, he might not be able to get the ball, and he just kept running in the box. I was thinking, oh, what am I gonna? So I kicked him, got booked, and then about 2 minutes later, he's absolutely clattered me. I'm facing the pitch. I'm thinking, and this was him at about 35, and he was different level. And you're thinking, don't want to be disrespectful in his pomp, but
Yeah.
he's absolutely schooling us.
Was he quiet, Wade? Because he seems quite quiet off the pitch. Was he a talker on the pitch?
No, he was quiet. He didn't say a word. The only time I noticed any expression from him is he played a pass. I'm not exaggerating. He because I'm up against him the whole game. He's played a pass into someone's run, and they've had to jump and check their stride a little bit. And
Wow.
he's got angry that it's not. He's like jumped in the air and he's got angry that it's not perfect.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean that's levels, isn't it? That's sort of the game.
Yeah, when you
That's
know,
easy.
at that level, you expect that level of perfection, don't you? And you demand it.
But the best of the Blues, that's a core. That's a good. I mean, we had some good players like talented. So obviously Nathan was talented. Damari, Jack Butland.
But,
Yeah. It's a talented squad.
You must have been
Rams.
over the moon. You must have been over the moon when Redmond went to Southampton. Then obviously being a Southampton fan.
Yeah.
yeah.
We we saw him. Saw his mum actually. Took my obviously before the pandemic. Took a little boy to a game. Wanted his first game to be at Southampton. And he was too young to go in the stand, so we ended up getting put in a box. And Michelle, Nathan's mum, was there,
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
she's come running down and she's making a fuss and But yeah, that's sort of what the atmosphere was like back then. It was sort of everyone we were quite tight, like all the families. It was quite nice. But
Yeah.
honestly, not because he's my mate, but the best player for the time that I was there was Berkey.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
great player.
Berkey
To tear you apart again.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
he had some talent, but he was consistently for like the two and a half years I was there. Berkey was the one who delivered all the time.
Yeah, he was outstanding. Yeah. Any funny stories or pranks you can tell us about amongst the lads, or any funny dressing room stories or anything like that, or training ground?
Trying to think what's clean. I'll tell you the best prank that I don't know if you might have heard this already. So the chef there, Rob, he's still there because I saw him a couple of weeks ago when we played him.
Yeah.
So and he won't mind me saying this 'cause I've told him this to his face before, but he was idle. Rob was idle, and if he could get out of doing something, he would. So I'd come in the morning and I'd ask him for an omelette, or the lads would ask him for an omelette, And because it was a bit of work for him, it was any excuse not to make an omelette. So
3 minutes.
Right.
3 minutes to make an omelette.
That's what I'm saying. Not even 3 minutes, because he'd always give it to you running.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm talking about cooking.
no.
So he's every excuse, like once, so he's, I've got no eggs, or I can't do this, or so one day he's gone, I've got no eggs, so I've gone, I'll tell you what, no problem. Tomorrow I'll bring my own eggs in. So you know you've got the eggs. He said, no, I can't cook them ones. I don't know where they've come from. The lads have got on it. The lads have got on it. Have gone, right. No problem. So they've when he's gone home, someone's gone to one of the lads. I can't remember who it was. It might have been Robbo. You know.
Yeah.
So Robbo said he used to go past a farm where they had chickens for sale. So one morning, Robbo's got in early with 3 chickens. He's got the key off security to the kitchen, and he's locked these three chickens in the kitchen. They're all in the kitchen. Rob's come in, opened the door. These chickens have been in there for hours. He said, "There's feathers, there's chickens do everywhere." He said he opens the door. These chickens start going mental around the kitchen, and the lads come around and go, "You know exactly where your eggs have come from now, Rob."
I like that.
Okay, so Craig Courtney, aka Mr. Fixer, can you please get the Birmingham City chef on the show?
Yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it? We'll get him on.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
at least one of the chickens.
They'll completely deny it, you know.
And did he make you an omelette then?
He was good from then on, to be fair.
I suppose Chris was playing that, was it?
Yeah. Very good, Nick.
Thank you. That's why they pay me so much. You know what, my Mark? That's why they pay me so much.
And what's your
Okay,
favourite-
I'm going to go on a little change of tactic. We'll come down to the 1 to 11 in a moment, Paul.
Yeah.
Okay, so my experience at St Andrews really wasn't actually the best this weekend. The PA system there is absolutely atrocious. Half time, I thought somebody was shooting us all with a machine gun. It kept dropping out. There's no sound. There's no quality. Can we not please sort something out for the fans that are there so that we can hear what you're saying? And I'm not blaming the guy with the microphone, right? It's infrastructure. It's the system. You know what? But other people around me were saying, "What is going on with that sound system?" And it was literally, you know, it was popping and cracking.
We thought it was the roof. We thought it was the roof caving in again. It's that bad.
Hilton falling down.
Yeah.
Hilton is falling down.
I think Wade's just going to have to put his nipper to bed, I believe.
Yeah, he's multitasking, isn't he? We haven't lost him. He's just multitasking.
Yeah. He hasn't gone to use a bucket, says...
No, he hasn't gone to get any chickens either.
No.
Did we get a doppel, Paul?
No.
I'm going for a very young, very slimmed down version of Ricky Gervais.
Oh, I'm sure he'll love that.
Very slim down. Because
That's all right. In Bristol, he can't hit me.
He's quite a bloater, isn't he?
Ladies and gentlemen, am I pleased to announce that Pucker Pies are back at St Andrews, and I had my Pucker Pie and it was all over my chin, and I enjoyed it so much. It was like Pucker Pies.
Can I also say...
I ate 2 years ago. We are led to believe that there was a 2-year contract on the pies, and you know what, Wade? Pies are important to fans. Yeah, they are a little thing that we enjoy either at half time or before the game, and you can get munched into a pie, and there was meat in it, and it was proper, and the crusts were nice and everything. I am so happy to have Pucker Pies back at St Andrews.
Yeah.
Have you had this one before, Wade? Duncan James from Blue as a lookalike.
Oh yeah,
that's one.
Yeah, that's
I
one.
can see that.
The pop a few years back, I used to get Tom York with a lazy eye from Radiohead.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's
Duncan James, all right, isn't it?
that's the one.
No surprises.
Can I just mention to everybody to make sure you share the stream, because there's loads of prizes to give away this week as well. If you've got young kids and grandkids, there's quite a few hoodies and t-shirts, all kiddie size, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, etc. And can also say thank you to Caroline Carey and Gary Manders, who bought some photos that I manipulated this week, and all the money's gone to charity. I believe one's gone to Tommy's Trust, and the other one has gone to Blake's charity as well. So there you go. Money
Couple of,
away, it's all good.
Sorry, Chris. Couple more good questions coming in. Stephen Gills asked Wade, what is the best piece of advice he got in his career, and also his favourite ever gaffer?
Cool. I had a few good gaffers, to be fair. I'll tell you my first, in terms of getting good advice, can't think of one bit of good advice, but my first manager was, do you remember Jimmy Case?
Yeah.
Oh, Southampton, yeah.
Yeah, Southampton, Liverpool, unbelievable.
Yeah,
career.
Liverpool, great
He
player.
won 3 European Cups.
Yeah.
So when I was at Bashley as a kid, he was my first manager. So I played non-league till I was 21.
Yeah.
And he was my first manager. And what I used to, you'd go out for the warm up, and I'd one game I went in during the warm up to use for a wee, and he was in the dressing room, and he said before you get the ball, it really sounds really basic, but he said before you get the ball, he said just check the other side of the pitch, have a look where your pass is. If it's not on, go back in the other way. So he's told me that, and so I do that in the game, and it's all working. So I started going in before every game, and he'd always just drip feed someone into me before every game. So he'd say, on a goal kick, get up against your man, but when the ball's in the air, he'll switch off, then you can drop off and give yourself a... So before every game, he was just giving me little tidbits on how to play centre mid. Things that you just picked up over however many years. So it was like a crash course in. So in terms of, it's hard to think of one specific bit of advice, but he was brilliant at just dripping little bits of his knowledge in. Then I went to Bournemouth, and Sean O'Driscoll was my manager, who was really good. It was brilliant. And then I had Steve Cottrell at Burnley, who obviously went to Birmingham, didn't he?
Yeah.
But Steve was good for me because I'd only ever been on the south coast, and he took me up north, and that probably toughened me up a little bit. Then I had Eddie. I didn't get on with Eddie, but he's a very good at the time. But he was a very good manager. And then I've got to say, Chris was as good as any I've had. Chris was brilliant.
Yeah.
Like knowledge, unbelievable knowledge. His manner, his way of dealing with people, his sessions on the grass, like every aspect of it. Really, Chris was top draw.
Yeah. And while you was on the pitch at Blues, what would you say was the best goal that was scored by us that you can remember?
I'm trying to think of one of mine.
Well, apart from yours.
The best goal. Berkey scored a few good ones, didn't he?
Yeah.
Berkey scored a few. Was his one against? He scored one at home against Cardiff where he absolutely burnt Kev McNaughton.
Yeah.
That one sticks out.
Yeah.
What about Nathan Redmond in the Nacional?
I wasn't there.
Oh yeah, you were there, were you?
Yeah, right.
Nah,
What about Marlon King's volley at Burnley? Was he playing in that?
Marlon, yeah.
Is that when we won 3-0?
Yeah, and he done an incredible volley on the sort of. I've even assisted it, to be fair. Didn't you dink it in? Was it Wade that dinked it in?
I was thinking of Marlon's. He scored one away at Millwall.
The 6-0.
Oh yeah. Was that the 6?
Yeah.
6-0?
That was a good one as well.
Yeah. I mean, was you playing when Zigic scored 4 at Leeds?
Yeah, it's probably my best. I was playing. That was a funny one, that, because Chris played me and Ziggy up front.
Yeah.
So he said, I want you to drop in and play off Ziggy. He said, but when we get the ball, I want you to run the channels as well. So I went, right, hang on. So while I'm dropping in and running the channels, what's Ziggy doing? He's just going to be. But yeah, that was one of my best achievements in getting Ziggy a hat trick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who was your football hero growing up?
Matt Letizia.
Oh, what a player!
Oh, yeah,
I had a feeling he was going to say that, being a Southampton fan, but yeah, he was just brilliant, wasn't he?
Nice
So I was lucky. When I was a kid, that Southampton, Letizia, Shearer, the Wallace brothers, Jimmy Case.
Yeah.
It was a Ruddock, Adams. It was a proper.
Jeff Kenner there then as well.
Jeff Kenner.
Yeah. Obviously, he went captain us to promotion to the Premier League for the first time. So yeah,
Danny Wallace, The Wallace brothers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
three of them. But in terms of watching like good attacking football, and it was a good era to grow up watching Saints. Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
Yeah.
I had the
But
pleasure of interviewing
Yeah.
Matt Letizia.
You
Great
couldn't-
player.
You couldn't
Can
copy.
we come on to Wade's 1 to 11 then?
Dun, dun, dun.
Come on,
So
then.
this wasn't easy for you, Wade. No, this had you scratching your head a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, like I said to you earlier.
With the fanfare there, Wade, by the way.
Say that again, mate.
I hope you enjoyed the fanfare there, by the way. You know, as an introduction.
Oh, sorry. There we go.
It was
Cheers,
quite
brother.
nice. It was quite nice taking a bit of time sitting back and going through the seasons, because you realised how many good players sort of crossed paths during that time. So
Here's another worldy goal. What about Emir Hughes at Middlesbrough away?
he was after me.
Oh, yeah.
Was that after you?
He
Right.
was
Okay.
after me.
They seem to all be after you or before you.
I'm trying to think of Andros. I'm sure Andros scored a good goal for us. Townsend.
Townsend, yeah.
I'm trying to remember.
Maybe I'm
Oh,
getting
yeah, Andros Townsend against Blackpool, says Stephen Gill.
Oh, yeah.
Muchie's away at Burnley was good.
Did you play with Ravel, says Sam?
Yes. Yeah.
Crystal Palace away.
He
Crystal
lived
Palace
above
away.
us. He lived above us, Rav.
Palace.
Oh,
Yeah.
did it?
Me and Stevie were in a flat in town, we're in the jewellery quarter, and
Oh, yeah.
there were 3 flats. And Rav moved in the one above us, so we spent most of our time babysitting Rav, to be honest.
Yeah. What a talent.
Especially in town, I would imagine. Yeah, not close to all that nightlife.
Yeah, well, we kept him on we managed to keep him on the straight and narrow for a bit.
Mind you, wait. Did you go to Moseley quite a bit?
Went to Moseley a little bit, yeah.
I think
What was
I've heard you used to go to Moseley quite a bit.
What was the pub there?
The Jug of Ale.
There's one that did a really good Sunday roast. A DJ on.
Prince of Wales.
Prince of Wales.
Prince of Wales, yeah.
Prince of Wales.
Cracking
quite a lot.
pub, that is. Oh, yeah,
Cracking
Then what
pub.
was the one? There was one a little bit further down that had a garden and.
Yeah, on the other side of the road. Further.
Yeah.
I know which one you mean. Yeah.
That's not Jug of Ale, is it?
No, he's on about the posh one. Well, posh. Does it get posh down Moseley?
I wouldn't know it then.
The People's Republic of Moseley.
Yeah, Moseley. But I'll tell you what, we did enjoy our time in Birmingham. Got to be honest.
Yeah. Just quickly before we come on to your 1 to 11, actually, just another question from Steve Portman. He's just asked Wade his biggest. What's your biggest regret? Have you got any regrets? And if so, what's your biggest one from your career?
In my career, tough one that.
Oh,
Biggest
there's a
regret while I was at
few.
Birmingham was the Blackpool game. Because I think we were the best. Not to be saying it, we were the best in the league that season, but we ended up. It was 3 or 4 games too much for us. By the
Yeah.
time we got to that stage of the season, we'd lost Stevie, we'd lost someone else's. We'd lost a few bodies, and we just ended up running out of steam at the
When else?
wrong time. So that season's a bit of a regret, because I think if all things, you'd never trade Europe or anything, but we ended up we had a couple of replays in the cups as well, and
Oh, you scored against Wolves, didn't you?
yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Molyneux, yeah.
Wait, do you right as a professional athlete? Yeah, do you actually run out of steam? Really?
In terms of the thing is, the margins are so small, aren't they? You know, like we end up losing Blackpool on, like you said it before. If it had gone another couple of minutes,
Yeah.
we'd have probably won that. And listen, if it would have been West Ham in the final.
2011. Was it Swansea?
Right.
Not Swansea. Swansea.
Cardiff, wasn't it? Was it Cardiff?
I thought it was Swansea under Brendan Rodgers.
Because Blackpool won it, didn't they?
Yeah, Blackpool got. So listen, I think we'd have gone up. And then you're talking about. I think you're looking at a different club. Then you're looking at completely different.
Oh yeah.
But to answer your question, yeah, like it's not so much you burn out, but you 63 games and it ends up you just talking a little bit of spark or a little bit of energy or life.
Is it really that fine a margin? Is it?
I think it is when you get to them. It's like, I'm sure you do shows where you'd have some shows where you feel really in the flow and
Like tonight?
Exactly. You feel really sharp and witty. You have other shows where you're not quite at it, and you're a little bit, your senses are a little bit more dulled, and you're not as quick witted, and your performance isn't quite as Listen, that's
So do you think then?
You're talking about Nick, aren't you?
I want to like in a really nice way, and I don't want to be disparaging. Right? I don't, and I mean this, right? Do you think it's more of the mindset than the physical bit?
It's all the mindset.
Yeah.
It's all the mindset.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't have a physical bit at the minute, you know what I mean? I've got no physical presence
I
on
mean,
this
look
earth
at him. Look at him.
whatsoever.
He's a machine.
He's a
I'm
machine.
10 yards in front of Chris Brown.
Apparently, Wade, you had a haircut that spawned a million hairstyles.
I did.
Yeah, apparently. Sam says, I remember when Wade signed. I remember his hair. It was way before its time. Now everybody has it.
Look back with it. I'll tell the worst. So I don't know how I ever got talked into this, but I always wanted to grow my hair, and you never could because it would get in your eyes when you were playing. So I was trying to grow my hair when I was at Birmingham, and we played. I remember. I'll tell one of my best. I scored in the last minute away at Charlton, in front of our end.
Yeah.
But I'd spent the whole second half trying to put my hair back with mud.
With mud.
Oh no.
we played Leeds on the TV. This was with Parkin. We got beat 4-0, and it was horrendous. So I was trying to grow my hair, and my girlfriend at the time said she gave me these like hair grips. She said put these hair grips in it to keep it out of the way. So I'm like, right, I'll do that. So we're 3-0 down at Leeds, and I didn't know this till afterwards. Ball's coming to the box, and I've headed it out for a corner, and there's a close up of me on the TV, and I'm putting these hair grips back in my
Oh, God.
back in. I'm thinking,
Oh no.
No.
That's almost a Grealish moment,
It's
isn't
a
it?
Grealish moment.
I'll
isn't
come in
it?
on the Monday morning with it.
We're going to use that, ladies and gentlemen, for the rest of the season. The
all over.
Grealish moment.
That was a bad moment. That.
Yeah, so you won to 11 then, Wade. So we're going 4-4-2, I presume, or?
Yeah, 4-4-2, 4-4-1-1.
Okay. Far away then, mate.
Far away.
I've got Jack in goal.
Yeah,
Butland.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
super.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I don't think. Obviously, I was coaching at Stoke for a long time, and Jack was there.
Yeah.
And he's still young, so I'm not writing him off at all. But he's been so unlucky with injuries, Jack. That
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
stopped him reaching his full potential. Because you think by now, I fully expected him by now to be established, England #1, one of the big clubs, one of the top goalies around, and he's obviously not at that level. But the season he was with us before he went to Stoke, he was unbelievable. Came in, and he made a couple of mistakes. And there was obviously a lot of talk about him because he'd been at Cheltenham, he'd done well. Made a few mistakes, and he could have gone under, but he just sort of grew and got better and got better and got better. And that was a tough one, to be honest, because we had
We
Boaz.
loved him as well. We absolutely loved Jack Butland.
Yeah, he's a good lad.
Definitely. Yeah,
Daz Randolph was a good goalie.
absolutely.
I liked
a good goalie. See, that's a tough one, but Jack was in that season. Jack was excellent, really good. My right back would be Kari.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to play with Kari for a long time, and he did struggle with injuries that season. I think that was it. That would have been towards the end for him.
Somebody asked earlier to ask you what he was like as a captain.
First of all, what a player! Like,
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
1v1, he could defend, he could play, obviously you know what he's like as a player.
Yeah.
It was funny. My first day in the box, we did the boxes, and Kari's swatting the ball into me, and he's properly on me. So I thought you'd be able to handle it. I thought you'd be, but he was just testing me out. He was just saying this is what. He was good as gold, Kari. He was brilliant. Good captain, set good standards, trained like an absolute beast.
Yeah.
Had good relationships with everybody, had the respect of everybody. So if anything needed sorting, you could go through him.
It was just like watching a steam train go down that right flank.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
He's
And
class.
in the cup watching him, it was just unbelievable, really.
He didn't even need rails though, Paul, did he?
No.
You know what I mean? He just whoosh, gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some player. He sorted out the Christmas do in Dublin.
Oh, yeah.
Christmas, now there's a beautiful word.
Christmas do. It was Yeah, we were like kings of. It was like the king of Dublin. We were rolling up to places thinking, "Oh Jesus, Stephen, how are you?" Got straight in. So yeah, he'd be a no-brainer at right back, Kari.
Yeah.
Again, you had like Specs come in. Specs did really well.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
Caddy.
Yeah.
Caddy did well, but with respect, they're not at Kari's.
No.
Kari's level. My two centre halves would be Stevie, Coldwell, and Curtis.
Okay, yeah.
Talk about captain. Stevie was a brilliant captain.
Yeah.
Stevie was. He had a similar sort of. I know you've had him on. He has a similar sort of vibe to Kari. He's quite authoritative. Set good standards. Similar to Kari, would train like a beast and would sort of dig out people that weren't doing the same. Tough, like Stevie is tough. He'd stick his head in and he'd chuck himself in front of stuff. Could play, could pass. Listen, he's one of my best mates, so I can say it. He lacks a yard of pace. If he was quicker, then he would have had an even better career than he had, and he had a very good career as it is.
Yeah, he read the game well though, didn't he? He was in the right, usually in the right place.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Read it unbelievably well.
Yeah.
I feel like Kenny Cunningham.
Yeah.
And Curtis was they were a perfect pair because Curtis, wow, no one could get by him.
Oh, great player he was, wasn't he?
Yeah. And it's similar to Stevie. He's tough as well, Curtis. Like he'll stick his head in the way of things. He'll get on, but he read the game. You couldn't get past him 1v1. Unbelievably good, quick, and he scored a load of goals. Scored a shit.
I used to love it. I used to love it when he went on his runs with the ball. You know, he used to go forward sometimes.
We didn't.
That's a comment for it.
Where's he going now? Get back here. And a brilliant lad, unbelievable lad, Curtis. It's around a bit dark now. He like got on with everyone in the dressing room, like knitted everyone. Like you'd have like me, Stevie, and Berkey would be tight. You'd have Nathan, Jesse, Rav. You'd have Kari, Murph. But Curtis would we'd all get on, but he'd gravitate towards like-minded people. Curtis would just get between everyone.
Yeah.
And bring everyone together. He was top draw, Curtis.
Yeah.
My left back would be Murph.
Yeah.
And like I said again, you'd even some. It's like could easily put Ridgie in there. Ridgie was a really good player, but I had a really good relationship with Murph. Like obviously, I played that year predominantly. I played left wing. When I started out younger, I was a right winger, and I was a bit like Berkey. I'd sound the touchline, and I'd take people on. And as I got older and my legs went, I changed my game a little bit, and I really enjoyed playing off the left wing. I knew Berkey was going to hold his width. We usually played two up front. Chris likes having a 2 and a 2, so it left loads of room for me to just go and float and pick up positions wherever I wanted. As long as when the ball turned over, it broke down, I just had to sprint to get back to left wing, and we had a good shape. But it was perfect for me because I could just flit over the pitch, pick up positions. I knew Murph would come around the outside of me, and we had a really good relationship. And then Murph's goal in Bruges is probably a perfect example. I'm playing left wing, but I pop up on the right wing. I think I overlap or underlap Berkey, or someone rolls me in the right wing, and I cross it for Murph to score. So yeah, I'd have to have Murph in there because he made me look better. Like I said to you before, Berkey would be a no-brainer on the right.
Yeah.
I think that season he was the best player in the league.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Yeah, he was.
Still playing, isn't he?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
He must be 100.
In 3. I don't think he is quite brilliant lad.
Yeah.
Like one of the funniest lads I've ever.
Yeah, we had him on last season, Wade. Yeah.
Top bloke.
Good lad.
You watch definitely watch Curb Your Enthusiasm. He is Larry David. He'll moan about everything. The most miserable.
That's all right, because we couldn't understand a word he was saying anyway.
Yeah. I'm guessing his accent's got even broader since he's been up there.
Yeah.
He was a funny lad, Berkey. It's funny you asked about stories. Must use stories about it. But what a player! Like quick goals, direct. He take the ball. He fit as you come. Unbelievable professional. And I've got a few years on Berkey. and we'd do pre-season, and I'd be knocking my pan in, and he'd always be just a bit ahead of me. Or we'd do a jump test, and Berkey would just be like a fraction ahead of me. And he, brilliant pro. The only way I'd get back at Berkey was I'd say to him, "But Berkey, I've got 5 years on you." I said, "I used to be as quick as you and as fit as you, but with my quality." So can you imagine that, Berkey? Can you imagine you being as fit as you are now, but with my quality?
Yeah.
What's the player you'd be then?
Yeah. I bet he took that well.
Yeah. He got, I'd have Nathan on the other side.
Mm.
So,
Another no-brainer.
yeah, another no-brainer. Brilliant, Nathan. Like when I came in, he was 17, and like he was electric in training.
Yeah.
It was a funny one because I used to I'd play on the left wing, and Burke would be on the right wing, and Nathan would be on the bench. And I knew, like, it was everyone loved Nathan. Like the fans, everybody loved Nathan, and I was keeping him out of the team. So I knew I was on a hide into nothing every week. And I knew if we weren't winning, if we were winning, I'm staying on because I know what I need to do defensively, and I can lock everything up. If we're not winning, I'm getting hooked. Like the clock's getting to an hour, and I'm looking at the clock thinking, "Fucking hell, if we don't score soon, might not have any time here." And
£10 fine.
so I think I'm doing all right here, and then my number would go up, and the Tilton would take off. Nathan would come on, and I'd be, "Yeah, cheers, lads." But again,
Oh, wait. What you don't understand is, mate, we were cheering you for your contribution.
I don't think you were. What a player, what a lad. Great lad as well.
Yeah. And who would have run in close? Maybe Beausejour or someone like that?
I'd have Bo in it.
Oh, okay.
Bo in it. Because
Yeah.
I'm pigeonholing him in a little bit in centre mid.
Oh, okay.
Because I think he was that good.
He was good.
And he could play anywhere, John.
Yeah. He was a good player.
Yeah.
So I'd have John in centre mid because he was. It's funny. I knew there was one game where I knew I was playing really well because Chris subbed John before me.
Oh wow.
So I thought I must be doing all right. But he was a Rolls Royce, John. He could have.
Yeah.
And he could have. He was driven. Like you don't have the career that he had without being driven, but you think he could have gone on and done even more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super.
Do you know what sticks in my mind with Beausejour? You know, this when we went down, we won the cup. He was one of those who didn't jump ship. You know, you think, oh, South American, he'll be the first one.
Yeah, you were saying that earlier. Yeah.
He stayed a good off season, so
Yeah, good on him.
Lovely, like really quiet, humble, like really. I'd
A bit like Billy.
Yeah.
Quiet and humble.
Sorry, Wade, you'd have her.
I'd have Muchie next to him. Jordan.
Oh, yeah, he was decent.
Jordan
Yeah.
Much, yeah.
And he's
expected
another one
him.
weird who hasn't gone on to, like, for whatever reason. I'm just going to put a light on because I'm. Really
So
bad.
your lad, yeah.
Just
So
need 50
Another one who's not-
I was starting to wonder whether you got electric in Bristol, to be honest with you.
my
He's another
lover
one
is.
who's not gone on and fulfilled his potential for whatever reason, Muchie. But for that year he was with us, he was excellent that year. Like could run all day, he scored goals, he could break up play. The only thing, Fergie talked him out the playoffs. Fergie did a bit of that second leg, that Blackpool game. Fergie did a bit of a number on him and just got in his ear. And Muchie was 18, 19. So Fergie used every tool in his makeup in that game.
I remember him getting a great goal at West Ham away. At Upton Park. Yeah, 3-0. Yeah, 3-1 up, weren't we?
Yeah, we were. Yeah, they stuck Carlton Cole and might have been someone else on and just shell balls in for
Paul,
Yeah.
how much would you sell me 2.5 ounces of your memory for? I hate it that I can't remember stuff.
Mainly useless information.
Yeah, mate.
I'd have,
Yeah. There's me talking about memory. You get my name wrong.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Oh, crikey, Brian.
I'm not that ugly for crying out loud's sake.
Sorry, Wade, carry on, mate.
I've had I would have Jesse Lingard as the 10.
Yeah.
It's funny because he come to us. So we signed him on loan, and we didn't know much about him, to be honest. He's obviously gone on to have. We didn't know loads about him. Honestly, he trained. We used to do yellow jersey the day before a game for the worst trainer. And I can't tell you how bad he was.
Really?
Really?
Friday before his first game, he was horrendous. And normally you're too polite to give the new lad the yellow jersey, but he was that bad. He got it. And we thought they
Sorry,
took
explain the yellow jersey to us.
So the worst trainer used to have to wear the yellow jersey.
And do they know?
yeah.
Oh, obviously.
Oh
they know.
yeah. You outed
That's
them.
like wearing a dunce's cap at school.
Exactly like that. Yeah.
Shame.
And then he goes and scores 4 on his debut.
Before debut, he was.
Right. Okay. Here's the thing,
that's
Wade. Right.
great.
I'm not a gambler. I don't gamble. Right. I got to that game, and my son said to me, "What's the score going to be today, Dad?" I said 4-1 to the Blues, and it's the first time I heard him call me a really bad word, shall I say, beginning with the third letter of the alphabet, which I can't say anymore. Right. Okay. Blah, 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 blah.
Cow.
So he said, "Give me £1." I said, "No, I ain't giving you £1." Anyway, he cajoled this pound out to me. I said, "Right, I'm not giving you this pound to gamble. I'm giving that pound to you." And he put it on, and we won 49 quid on 4-1, and we went back and blew it all in Weatherspoons. What a lovely life I live.
It's all right. 50 quid in Weatherspoons.
My best ever bet down the Blues was the Dugarry 3-2 against Southampton. I had us to win, believe it or not. I had us 3-2, and Brett Ormerod to score first.
Did you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it was. It was almost like I was psychic. I've never done a bet like that before in my life. It was 38-1. Put the 10
Well,
on.
I've never gambled since. Well, I didn't gamble at that junction, but I've never gambled since, right? And I'm still 49. Happy days.
Well, I won a nice 80 quid on Saturday. My brother goes and betters it by winning 1,300
Oh, wow.
Hate
Sorry,
it.
Wade, you got one more player
for a
left, haven't you,
fiver.
mate?
For a fiver, that one.
Yeah, need a forward. Go Kingy up top.
Yeah.
He was a good player.
That's a great team, isn't it? Jesse Lingard. Imagine Jesse Lingard just off. Because I think did Jesse play with King, Marlon King, or had he gone by then?
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest.
I don't think he did he?
Don't
I
know.
don't think it did. I think Marlon had gone by then.
Lee brought Jesse and Dinny, but Lee was there a little bit with Clarkey. I'm not sure how long. Sorry, Marlon was there a little bit with Clarkey. I don't know how long.
Yeah. But Jesse Lingard just off Marlon King would have been quite scary, wouldn't it?
Kingy was. And listen, Kingy had a couple of knee-ops by then, so he didn't have that explosive pace that he used to have. But in terms of finishing and holding the ball up, and he had an edge to him as well, Marlon. He was. Listen, me had more rounds than anyone. We would every time he didn't get the ball off me, or I passed to anyone other than him, he was giving me daggers. So me and Marlon, but he was driven. He wanted to win. He was desperate to win, and he could play as well, Kingy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good player.
He's a great player.
I mean, looking back at all your memories, Wade, what have you kept any of your? Were you one for keeping your shirts and stuff like that? What mementos have you got from?
I've got them all.
Yeah,
Have you?
I've got them all. They're all packed away, but I know where they all are. They're all safe. I keep them all. Yeah, I've even got that black and green stripy one.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you ever wore it. Got the pink one they made us wear at Millwall.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
yeah,
fancy wearing a chuffing pink shirt at
Remember that?
Millwall.
Yeah.
Millwall.
What a place to do that. That's ridiculous.
We always turned Millwall over though. So
Yeah, we used to get some great results there.
Millwall are kind of like the Birmingham City of London, though, aren't they? Like a proper working man's club, you know what I mean? Nobody likes us.
Yeah. Fans are a bit rough. Yeah.
difference is Wickham Reid.
but it was that 1 to 11 was a tough one. Went through it. There's some.
And you captain and manager?
My manager would be Chris.
Yeah.
Just shooting, yeah.
Chris. Obviously spoke about him before. He was different class, Chris. My captain would be Stevie Colwell because probably a little bit because Stevie was my captain at Burnley as well.
Yeah.
So I know what a good captain he was. But listen, could easily be Kari as also. Kari was so.
Super.
I'd go
Well,
for.
ladies and gentlemen, you wouldn't believe this, but we're actually into the last 15 minutes of the show. And Wade Elliott, this has been an absolute gem of a show. And really enjoyed it so far. let's enjoy it a little bit more, shall we, by having a little bit of a laugh in the last 15 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, what I want you to do tonight is a word association, as we do in the last 15 minutes of every single show. And tonight, as the Tilton Road and the COP are officially construction sites, I do have a photograph of the sign at the back of the Tilton. I will put that on the Tilton Talk page later, and it says construction site. So anything to do with a construction site and football. And I want to start you off tonight, ladies and gentlemen, with David Seaman. David Seaman. Off you go. Paul, this is down to you, mate. Paul, this is down to you, because I don't think anybody else has got access to the Facebook one tonight, because we're all on Zoom, unless Chris Brown has. Have you?
Yep. Okay. Yeah. No, I'll get that.
Yeah,
Okay, so it's down to you two guys. Right,
If anybody
David.
can be bothered.
Spade
Spade Elliott. Spade Elliott. Well done, Craig Courtney. Linda Trowell Deeney.
Oh, who did that one?
Linda Edzer. The old, you know that old lady who pops on there and again.
What people are thinking about that, Chris? Can we do the ooh? Can we?
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
I've got to do this one because this is a good one. Christophe Digary.
Yeah.
Digary. Harry Crane.
Harry Crane.
Jonathan Grounds. Right then, should we do the who?
Yeah. So what we do now, right? So we play a clip for about 15 seconds of a player that you've played with for us, speaking. And I just want you to tell us who it is. If you think you know who it is, to let our viewers try and get it. If you just tell us the second letter of his surname.
Right.
If you think you know who it is, yeah?
Okay.
Okay. If you ain't got
Here we go.
Again?
I got the right one.
I feel really good. Just happy for the team to get 3 points.
You came on and you...
Your short one.
Oh.
Do it again.
I feel really good. Just happy for the team to get 3 points.
You came on and you...
He's got it.
Ooh.
Once more.
Down to you.
Okay. Hang on. One more.
I feel really good. Just happy for the team to get 3 points.
You
Sorry,
came on and
Brownie.
you...
Chris, we charge £100 for the third one. Nobody's ever asked for it to be played 3 times before. That's £100 charge.
That was my idea, to be fair. Any idea?
You're a
what-
very cruel.
Yeah, I think
harsh person.
What do you want? The second letter of his surname?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Is it O?
No.
No.
You were pretty confident as well.
I thought it was Rav.
You thought it was who?
I thought it was Rav.
No.
It was
It's not
Ravel.
Ravel. No, it's not Ravel Morrison.
Here we go. Nicola Diggit. Nicola Diggit. Kenny Hythes jacket.
Who's that? I need to know who that was. Who's that?
Paul Gill. Here's good. There's some good ones here. Glenn Hodd.
Oh.
Madam here, Gravel Morrison.
Gravel Morrison. Yeah. Bob the
Name
Builder.
and shame, Paul. Name and shame, please.
That's Adam Wilk, that is.
Bob the Builder Latchford.
He's got the nasty. Yeah, I mean.
Nicola
I'm just developing another hernia. What was that here?
Nicola Briggs Madsen.
Want it once more?
Pitch Hack.
Yeah.
Pitch
Yeah,
Hancock. Here we go. One more.
I feel really good. Just happy for the team to get 3 points.
You came on and you...
Sounds Mancunian. That's
Bricky Otto.
Bricky Otto.
Obviously, if any of our viewers...
Ricky Otto.
Nut Lofthouse.
I want to know who did that one.
It's a good one. That was Gaynor Robinson.
Oh, brilliant, Gaynor. You're up there. You're right up there, mate, honestly.
So the who is not Pete Taylor.
No, it's got it. Love and Crans.
No, it's not Love and Crans. I suppose you could have said Love and Sands, couldn't you, for the build?
Yeah.
For the,
Yeah.
Paul Cement Mix. Niall Etheridge.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think the worse they are, the funnier they are, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some really bad. Mike Taylor Woodrow.
Like it.
I like that one.
These were awful, ain't they, Wade?
They're really
I
bad.
think I'm
They're really
stumped.
bad. Ryan Timberwoods.
Through Alexandra.
I'm going to go for Lutar Macari.
Still no idea, Wade, no?
I'm trying to think who was the Scandinavian. Eric Huxlep.
No, that's a good effort, but no.
Right, then. Okay. This is the last go for anybody.
I feel really good. Just happy for the team to get 3 points.
You came on and you...
I don't think it's Scandinavian. I think it's a bit of southern.
Did you play at Bolton when we stayed up? Was you there then?
No,
You've gone by the
I
name,
was on
yeah?
loan. I was at the club. I was on loan,
Okay.
trying to get back.
Yeah. You've obviously seen the goals, though, haven't you, and all the actions.
Yeah,
So I'll give you a clue then. He was involved in one of them goals.
That hasn't helped.
I wonder if it's somebody come in after me. Are you sure I played with them?
They were there the same season as you, but now you've said that, I didn't realise you went out on loan, to be fair. I didn't remember that. So you might not have played with him then. But he was there the same season as you.
Not Tom Adeyemi.
No.
No, it's not Tom.
Oh, come on, mate.
Some of our viewers have got it now. Some of our viewers have got
Go on, go on. You go.
Jordan Ibe.
I wasn't there with Jordan Ibe.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know you went out on loan. You see, I thought you was there.
Yeah.
It's one job.
The last 15.
One job. I'm afraid
well.
it's going to have to be a.
Oh well.
Well, you did well, Wade.
Yeah, you did well. You
You
beat
did very
him.
well.
You beat him.
You never,
Could have been network, it'd have been fun.
he was never in the same training session or anything.
Nah,
Never
Okay.
met him. Didn't like him.
probably took my place.
Yeah. Apparently, that's a £20 fine now for you, Paul. Apparently.
Oh well. I just looked at the season and I thought that they were there. You know, he was there the same season as you was, but he didn't mention that you'd gone out on loan. Obviously, what I was looking at when I was doing my research.
You deserve that restricted view ticket.
Yeah, you did.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
You should have been forced to sit behind that as well.
Yeah, Nigel Mann sums it up. He's just called me Paul Miskis.
Yeah, good one. Next game coming up then, Paul, is against whom?
So we're at home
Tomorrow.
on Wednesday.
Wednesday,
aren't we,
sorry,
to Bournemouth?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody predicted a 0-0 last week, did they? That I can remember.
No, nobody did.
Yeah, so carry on, Paul. Sorry, mate.
That's all right. It'll be a tough game. I'm going to go.
Remind us who we got.
I'm going to go 1-1.
Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Linda's gone 6-0.
Right, okay. So it's the second show back into the season, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Brown, if Birmingham City score 6 goals this year, will you do a show in the Buff?
Cup, anything. Friendly, anything.
Cup, friendly, anything,
Yeah.
including penalties,
Competitive game.
including penalties.
No, we can't have penalties.
Come on, you've got a bucket under the table,
I'm glad we haven't got any strikers, to be honest.
Yeah, go on then. All right then.
including penalties.
There you go. Okay. For this season only.
Right. Okay. So what we want everybody to do then is, if Birmingham City do actually score 6 goals this season, including penalties in any competition, right? You've all got to pay £2 for our charity.
Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah, that'll do.
No
won't it?
problem.
£2.
That'll do.
£2 is not a lot of money, is it? £2. There you go.
We're joined next week by Matt Sadler. Play against him, Wade?
Saw him a couple of weeks ago. We
Oh, did
played Walsall pre-season. He's obviously coaching it. I think he's still registered as a player, but he's winding down a bit, Matt, I think, from speaking to him.
Yeah.
Saw him a few
It
weeks
could have been Matt Paint Sander.
Yeah, paint Sander.
ago. Show that.
Yeah, but you must come up against him a couple of times.
Yeah, did.
Yeah.
Michael Wood's gone. That's the cumulative for the season regarding 6 goals. Yeah.
See, I've redeemed myself there,
Yes.
Wade. I've remembered that you played against Matt Sadler, so I've redeemed myself.
You are. Yeah, he's all right.
We've got
That's that.
3-1 says Stephen Gill. 3-1 says Lindsay. 2-2 Trevor. 1-0 says Nigel.
I did
1-1
see
says-
Lindsay actually at the game the other day. I was trying to wave, but I just got totally ignored.
Yeah.
Totally ignored.
Yeah.
I think
probably true,
we're a draw as well, Paul.
Yeah, I've gone for 1-1.
One each as well.
I hope I'm wrong. Obviously, we beat them about 2 or 3-0, but
Look, we're unbeaten so far. I've got 1-0 to the Blues, okay?
They're a real bogey team, aren't they?
yeah, but these records are there to be broken.
Yeah. I'll be shocked if we win. I'll be surprised if we win.
Bogey team.
It was like
It's
the
not good enough being a bogey team.
The last game wasn't that 9-0, was it?
Oh, date.
No, we've played them since then. The 8-0 Wade.
Yeah,
8-0.
8-0.
8-0, yeah. Oh, God. Did you play in
We
that?
played them since
Oh,
Wayne,
I was
Wayne,
gone by
right,
then.
the truth. Okay, I decided not to go to that game because we needed some stuff for the house, right? Okay, so I was in Dunelm, which is, I know it's a Villa Horned, right, for bed sheets, yeah? Picking up some stuff for home, and A couple of minutes in, we're 1-0 down, and a few minutes later, we're 2-0 down. And then did somebody get sent off pretty much straight after that? I turned my phone off after that. I turned my phone off, right? I thought, I'm not even going to bother with this anymore. I'll get home and it was 8. Oh, my God. I mean, the embarrassment.
If it weren't for Darren Randolph, it could have been 12.
Yeah, it could have been double figures that day.
Yeah.
Paul Gillis says, Chris Brown, you should up the bet a bit and do it in the buff if Lecco scores.
Ooh.
I'll tell you what, if he scores 2.
What, in the season?
In a game, that can be own goal as well.
In the season?
In a game.
Stop picking your nose, you dirty
I'm not
scrote.
picking... Where's my nose?
Who's the
So you're
funniest?
saying, right, okay, so if Blues score 6 in any game
Yeah,
with penalties, or if Lecco gets 2 this season.
in a game.
In a game.
Crikey, I could score 2 goals in the season.
Okay. All right, okay.
Who's the funniest player you've
In his
ever played
lifetime.
with? Funniest ever teammate?
Oh, funniest ever. There was a couple of lads at Burnley were funny. Robbie Blake was funny.
Robbie Blake.
was funny. Of course, Blakey was at Blues, wasn't he?
Yeah. We had,
Blakey, Blakey was just a funny lad. You could spend
Proper art. Yeah.
you tell stories. Alan Marn there was a lad, Alan Marn, Irish lad. He was at Burnley. He was a lunatic. I'll tell you who the funniest one was. A lad called Stephen Thompson.
Yeah.
Big Scottish centre forward, played for Burnley.
Yeah.
Just off his rocker. So we played Portland Timbers in the States pre-season, and they've got, obviously in America they've got the stand up, and they've got around the side of the pitch they've got like tables that families sit on, and Tomo's running Tomo's running to keep a ball in. He's got to the touchline. He's just got his foot on it, managed to keep it in, but his momentum's taken him to the advertising hoardings. So he can't stop. So he's jumped over the hoardings, landed at bang at the table. This family there having a dinner, a burger, and he's landed right at the old man's pint. So picked the pint up, next pint, put it back down on the table, jumped back over the hoarding, and carried on with the game. He was funny.
I'm guessing you don't get to watch the Blues at all with your job.
Only very rarely. Only when if they're on TV and it doesn't clash.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hang on. Chelsea have called the Blues as well.
Well, what about?
So you don't get to watch the Blues?
What about?
You're not even doing your job properly, mate.
What about the Blues? There's only one Blues, isn't there?
There's only one Blues, Nick.
There's only one Blues.
No, I watch them. Obviously, I follow them and I watch them. If I can, if they're on. To be honest, I watch any football if it's on, but I always all my old teams: Bournemouth, Burnley, Birmingham, Bristol. I keep an eye out for.
Crikey, we've run out of time, Nick.
Yeah, run out of time,
We
mate.
have, yeah. Let me know.
Run out of time.
Yep.
Well, do you know what? These sessions, and you have somebody on and you think, oh, what are we going to talk about? It's just flowed perfectly. It's been absolutely superb. For all the bad things that are going on at St Andrews, we're still Birmingham City fans, right? And it's the club, the players and the manager and the staff that we all support, and we've all got to be behind them 100%, 100%, girls and boys, ladies and gents, because that's what defines us and that's what we are. Birmingham City. We love the Blues. We may hate the board, but we love the Blues. Okay, so thanks to Wade Elliott tonight for being our special guest. It's an absolute pleasure to talk to you. And thanks for all the laughs and the good fun that we've had along the way. Mr. Paul Hipkiss, a.k.a. Mr. Sheen, thank you so very much for joining in tonight and being with us once again. Bless you.
My pleasure. Just want to thank Wade as well. Thank you, Wade, for all the good memories, mate, and the time you spent with us.
No, I've really enjoyed it. Thanks for having me on, fellas.
And thanks, Paul, also for opening up that story about your lovely little daughter as well earlier. It kind of like melted me a little bit, I promise you. Nice one. From Mr. Robe, a.k.a. Mark Adams Smith.
Good evening, everybody.
What's his name?
God knows.
No, just for everybody, those of us who are lucky enough to go on Wednesday, let's hope we see a good result. I'll take a draw.
Okay, buddy. Nice one. Thanks, Mark, again. And from the one and only, of course, the inimitable Mrs. Brown.
Good evening.
And the last few words from me before Wade Elliott says goodbye to you is thank you so much to all the people around St Andrews that made my day so special, including Auntie Linda, Sally, Jay, Brenda. I mean, to give Brenda a kiss, blimey. Nicholas Wellsbury, to name a few, Carl Motion, Craig Courtney, Andy Pike, Lewis Mitchell, who is an absolute megastar. I love that lad to bits. Bless him, he's grand. And, of course, that hug that I got off Jack, which is on Facebook, will remain with me forever. That, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, was the reunion of Birmingham City fans. And Jack, as always, got friends. Good night.
Good night.
God bless. Take care, Wade Elliott. See us out.
Just want to say thanks for having me on. I love my time at the club, and I've enjoyed having a bit of a chin wag and reminiscing with you all. So thanks very much. Keep right on.
God bless you, mate. And
Good
thank you. Good night, guys.
See you later.
Bye all.
We are the lads from the Chiltern.